Hello and welcome. This is your 9 p.m. daily quiz. We are late by a few minutes. I'm sorry for that. But anyways, thank you so much for joining in today. This is again a place where we discuss the most important news stories from the prelims exam point of view by converting them into prelims specific questions. Do make sure that you keep a track of how your score is, because this will really help you revise the entire current affairs syllabus in the long run. Do tell me in the comment section as well how much are you scoring. The questions here are taken from the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express, the PIB, Down to Earth and other such sources. A couple of very important announcements. We are announcing the launch of second batch of our PSIR optional live course that is ongoing on my own app right now, where we are covering the entire syllabus of PSIR in about 350 hours of teaching. I'll also be giving you topic-wise notes, so you don't have to refer to any other book apart from this. The course also includes access to recordings of the classes for 1 year, and apart from that, weekly subjective test based on whatever we have studied. To register for that, you can download my app, Harshmeet Study Circle. I'm giving the link of the app in the description of the video. One more important announcement. A lot of you have been asking me about ethics, how to prepare, how to focus on answer writing. Now, ethics answer writing is very different from the answer writing of other GS subjects, and that is why I have launched a special booklet for all of you, which contains 100 model questions along with answers in ethics, and separately 50 case studies along with their answers. You can again register for this booklet. You can buy it from my app. The link is in the description of the video. If you buy it today, because it has been launched today till 12 a.m., you have a coupon code also available on the app, which can give you 100 rupees discount on this booklet. Do try this out as well. Let's begin with the first question then. Consider the following statements with regards to Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. So as you know, Government of India runs two versions of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Grameen and Urban. First, it is implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Second, the mission promotes women's empowerment by providing the ownership of the houses in the name of female members or in a joint name. Third, the scheme has been extended until December 2024 to ensure the completion of all the sanctioned houses without altering the funding pattern and implementation methodology. How many of these are correct? The reason why we are discussing this is because yesterday the cabinet decided to expand the scheme even further by deciding to build even more houses. So that is why this news is relevant. First, it's true, it is implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Second is also correct. One of the important components of the scheme is to give ownership to the female members of the family to ensure their empowerment. And third is also correct. It was originally supposed to be till 2022. Then the government extended it further, and now it will go on at least till end of this year and will be extended even further most probably. The answer thus here is C. All three statements here are absolutely correct. There is a detailed article in the Indian Express newspaper about how Cabinet has cleared 3 crore extra additional houses under the PM housing scheme, 2 crore houses to be built under the Grameen version, and 1 crore to be built under the urban version. Next, question number 2. Clean Plant program, recently in the news, is aimed at boosting which of the following sectors? Horticulture sector, fisheries, cotton cultivation or the dairy sector. Clean Plant program, recently launched by the government, is aimed at boosting which sector? Think about it. The answer here is horticulture sector. The government, in order to give a boost to this sector, has launched a Clean Plant program. This is the news that government has approved 1,766 crore Clean Plant program to boost the horticulture sector. This mission or this program will be under the mission for integrated development of horticulture in India. As per the government, 9 institutions will be developed as clean plant centers along with 75 nurseries for planting material. The idea is to revolutionize the horticulture sector in India by setting up new standards for excellence and sustainability. Next, question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to Citizenship Amendment Act. Number 1. The CAA was enacted in December 2019 for granting Indian nationality to persecuted Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Buddhist, Parsis and Christian migrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan who came to India on or before December 31, 2014. Second, any document issued by the central or a state government or a quasi-judicial body in India proving that either of the parents, grandparents or great-grandparents is or had been a citizen of one of the 3 countries will be acceptable. Third, Applicants need to prove their country of origin, religion, date of entry into India, and knowledge of an Indian 8th schedule language to qualify for Indian citizenship. How many of these are correct? Since December 2019, Citizenship Amendment Act has always remained in the news for various reasons. When it was first introduced, the government delayed introducing rules for that. Now that rules have been introduced, there have been a lot of problems where people say that the documents that they are showing are not being accepted by the authorities, so government has had to issue a clarification. This is in the news because now the government has said any document issued by any center, state government or any quasi-judicial body in India about your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents can be considered as a proof. First is also correct. Third one is wrong. So you need to have language proficiency, or you need to have knowledge about an Indian language, not necessarily the 8 schedule languages only. In 8th schedule we have 22 languages. So the point here is that you need to know any Indian language, not necessarily these 22 only. Apart from that also, if you know any other language, that would also suffice. Thus the answer becomes B. 2 of these are correct. Third one here is wrong. There's an article in the Indian Express newspaper again about how the government has tried to simplify the CAA related paperwork, how rules about your citizenship have been brought in by the government. Next is question number 4. Consider the following statements with regards to the Vice President of India. Number 1. All the doubts and disputes concerning the election of Vice President are inquired into and decided by the Supreme Court, whose decision is final. Second, Vice President election is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, and voting is by an open ballot. Third, if the office falls vacant by resignation, death, removal or otherwise, election to fill the vacancy should be held within 6 months after the occurrence of the vacancy. How many of these are correct? Why is this in the news? In the session of the parliament is ongoing, or that has just recently ended rather, there were a lot of discussions between the Vice President and some members. We saw this yesterday as well. There was a heated discussion between the Vice President and Jai Bachchan, who is a member of the Rajya Sabha, after which the opposition has announced that they will be bringing a motion to remove the Vice President. It obviously will not pass, but they want to show this as a statement. With respect to that this question is relevant. First is true, any issue or any challenge to the election of the President or Vice President is decided by the Supreme Court. Second is false, it is decided by a closed ballot or a secret ballot. Means no one knows who is voting for whom. Third is also wrong. 6-month clause is for the President of India. For the Vice President, the Constitution just says as soon as possible. So there is no limitation of 6 months, it just says as soon as possible. Third and second, both these are wrong. The answer here would be A. Only one of the 3 given statements here are correct. First one. This is the article in the Hindu newspaper today. How opposition parties prepare to move no confidence motion against the Vice President. Do tell me in the comment section, when the motion has to be moved, how many people have to suggest or how many people have to start to support this motion in both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Next, question number 5. India is getting ready to roll out BPAL, that is bedaquiline, pretomanid and linezolid regime to treat which of the following diseases? Malaria, tuberculosis, Japanese encephalitis or dengue. Which of these will be treated by this BPAL regime? Learn or remember about these 3 medicines. These are very, very important and you would have read about them earlier as well. These are all for tuberculosis. The Government of India is planning to eradicate tuberculosis as soon as possible, and to that extent the government is launching the BPAL regime. The government is set to roll out the new treatment regime for drug-resistant tuberculosis. It is a new all-oral combination of drugs consisting of these 3. It will bring down the treatment time to around 6 months and earlier, which was about 18 to 24 months for drug-resistant tuberculosis. It has been found to be cheaper for both health system and the patient, and it has given good results in Pakistan, South Africa and Ukraine. To end the session today, again I have some important piece of information in the form of infographics that the government has shared. Infographic about Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, the question that we had in this paper or in this session rather. there has been a decision taken by the cabinet that 1 crore urban houses to urban poor and middle class will be given in 5 years. Investment of 10 lakh crore will be done by the government. And there's another piece of information about the Grameen version, that is the rural version of this scheme. Do read that. If you're new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. Do check out the courses and the new ethics book that I have launched on my app. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I've given my email ID and my number in the description of the video. Do download my app as well. Again, the description will contain the link of the app. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.